Welcome, everyone. It is John the Net Guy. We're starting just a few minutes late, but hopefully you'll forgive me because I've got a ton of great deals today to show you. This is Tech on Tuesday, which is also Tech Day Live any day of the week. I'm going to try to do more Saturday, maybe weekend shows. I got a weekend coming up here. I've got so much stuff. I've just got to bring it in every day of the week. It's really crazy. I have a ton of neat products today, a few of them that were provided by brands. I'll let you know what those were. If you are tuning in, let me know in the chat. I see we've got a couple messages. Here we go, says Rare. Thank you so much for checking in, Rare. Got a few people dialing in. It took me a little bit longer because, one, I had an issue getting one of the video things hooked up that I want to show you. I want to be able to show you live the products I'm using, the apps that I'm using, all that kind of stuff. I'm one of the only people that builds PCs on Amazon that I know of, doing live streams. Oh, we've got a Aussie in the group. Let's see. We got to get that up there on the chat. From down under, we got a Kren with a good day. Thank you so much, my friend. A couple other people checking in here early in the show, and that's great. I do have 7 products to show, so I'm going to get those going. A couple things. Amazon does not let me tell you to go to my website, doesn't tell you to follow me on YouTube, whatever. They get a little mad about that. So I won't say that when I'm in Amazon. You're going to see this ugly scroll bar going across the bottom or call out down here somewhere. That's fine. You can watch me wherever you are. If you are on YouTube or any of the other services, you should be able to see in the description the deals and the links that I have. I get a very small commission, like low single digit percentages if you do purchase any of these items, and that's awesome. And if you don't, that's fine too. So without further ado, I'm going to pull up the first product, but I am going to get us to go live on Amazon so I can get those eyeballs on here. Mic seems a little bit hot. Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys. Let me know if the mic is better there. I turned it down a couple notches. We were just playing with audio last week, so hopefully that's a little bit better. So I took it down a few notches, and we'll get going in 3, 2, 1 on Amazon. Welcome, Amazon shopper. This is John the Net Guy. Thanks for joining me. This is going to be Tech Day Live number 2, show number 2 of this year. I've got a bunch of great products. I got a bunch of great people here tuning in here. Oh, wow, they're already having a conversation up here. Up half a notch, he says. So we're tuning the audio in here. We're going with the community here. You guys can tell me what volume to set it at. First product I want to bring out is from Acer. And this is one of those just, general run-of-the-mill 24-inch IPS displays. Now, it's going to be ultra-light, ultra-thin, and very affordable. Right now, it is on Amazon for $144 even. I did not pay that much for it. I can't tell you exactly what I paid for it, but it was not nearly that much. This is a great monitor if you're looking for something for an office, maybe for a kid's PC, or maybe you're just trying to do one of those lowest bargain basement budget builds. You can do that with this. A 24-inch monitor nowadays, everybody's like, oh, that's just 24. That was huge back in the day, right? So I'm going to go ahead and open this thing up, and you'll be able to take a look at it. We're going to do some basic testing with it. I'm not going to do too much crazy stuff with it, but it is going to go with our very next product. So I wanted to have this monitor out here. Another interesting claim to fame for this one is all of my guys with home labs. One, this thing's not going to break the bank. You're not going to be tempted to use it on your gaming machine, but it does have a VGA interface. That was another thing. Another reason I had to go out and buy this is all of my fancy gaming monitors don't have a VGA interface anymore. So this Acer is actually one of the very few, I would say one of the last, that has that traditional VGA interface that we need. So if you have, NVR security systems, things like that take VGA, and maybe that's all you got, this is one of those options. Or if you're working on really old laptops, but hopefully we're not doing that. Let me know in the chat, if you can, where you might still be using VGA, or if you are. Are you total HDMI or using DisplayPort now? So we're going to take a look inside this thing. I literally have not opened it up. I wanted to save that to do live with you guys here on the show. Okay. Now, the cool thing about these is they are dead simple to put together. You don't need a lot of tools usually, if any. And some of them... Let's go. Hardest thing's going to be getting this one out of the bag. There we go. Come on. There we go. Just like that. Now, I recommend, especially with these really light panels, save this box. They don't take a lot of room. Save the packing material that I didn't destroy over there, just because it makes it so much easier to put this together. I'm going to get you guys on the top-down view so you can just see right away what it comes with. And I'm just going to say hi real quick to, we got a few folks on Amazon. Amazon folks. Oh, I got to spell right. The autocorrect doesn't work, which I guess is good. Hi. Thanks for watching. If you're on Amazon, if you are on Amazon, do me a favor. There is this little tiny follow button down somewhere over there. Feel free to hit that if you want to get notified each and every time I go live. This is going to be that base. Looks like it's going to have a rotating base. A lot of these you're not going to get a lot of adjustment out of. That's one of the drawbacks, you know, with these lower end budget monitors. So at best you're going to see a swivel, maybe just manually swiveling this. We'll see what it comes with. Looks like it's going to have a standard power cable. Now I am seeing a separate power brick. Now that's good and bad. One, these are replaceable, so you can do that. If you also want to be able to supply, it looks like 19 volts. It's more like a laptop voltage. You could do that. Some of them take 12 volts, and you can power them off a vehicle, an RV, maybe a boat or something, which would be kind of cool. I'm actually looking for like a 20-inch monitor for my boat. I want to have something I can use inside my boat. We're going to do a lot more boating this summer. Now, like I said, this is a budget set, so it actually does come with a VGA cable. I didn't see an HDMI yet, so that's kind of interesting. So if you're going to use the HDMI interface on this thing, that may be something to think about. Okay, there we go. So this is, again, super easy snap-in design here. And then this is going to snap into the bottom of the monitor is my guess. So there is the instruction manual that we're just going to skip today. And we'll get this thing put together. Looks like no tools needed on this. It's going to have just a twist screw on the bottom. Now you will want to take off. Looks like it's going to have this plastic here. If you don't take this off now, it is going to be just about impossible to get to when the monitor is all installed. So very nice glossy black finish. See if we all have any other people checking in here real quick. Maybe use it for my home lab monitor, Jonathan Talks Hardware says. Another great YouTuber in here on the channel today. Maybe use it for my home lab. That's a great idea. Like I said, you know, 24 inch is not a bad monitor size. Now, this is kind of interesting because one of the things you're going to notice about this monitor right away is just how razor thin that is. Now, you can't really see that yet, but this thing is tiny. Now, I just happen to have a padded desk here, which I'm going to use. And I'm going to take it out of the protective cover and we'll snap it in. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I love budget monitors. Just overall in general, I think, you know, there's a lot of great value to be had. That doesn't mean I don't like really high refresh rate monitors. I just bought one this morning, that's another 240 hertz monitor. So there we go. I'll switch out to the other side. So I just popped that through to the back. And there you go. So now you've got that. Now, Visa mounting. That was a great question, though, from Jonathan. It does not look like this one comes with Visa mounting capability. It is that super thin. You can see how tiny that monitor is. So this, again, is going to be great for maybe a home lab display because it's not going to break the bank. It does frequently go on sale. So that's another good thing. And like I said, I did want to pick it up because of a specific interface that it had. I needed a VGA interface for a product that's coming up real quick. So we'll take a quick look at the product page in a second here, make sure I didn't miss anything. And then we're going to use this monitor. So you're going to get to see it in action here with our next product. So that's the VGA cable. I'm going to plug it in real quick to power and turn it on and make sure it comes on. Yeah, Jonathan says he's got his old partially broken monitor for his home lab. So again, this is the 93rd most popular monitor on Amazon. If you were thinking, you know, I want to know what the 93rd most popular monitor on Amazon is, well, now you know. I was just checking the stats out on it earlier today just to see where it comes in. There's a lot of great values right now in monitors. That's one thing I've noticed. So very light AC adapter. Let's go ahead and plug it in. Now, normally on my show and on my channel, I do a full breakdown on the monitors. I will do a full test. We'll run them through the brightness checkers. We'll check uniformity and gamut and all that stuff. Today, because we're going to use this monitor, and because it's not going to be really for ultra fancy gaming, I'm going to go ahead and just use it, and we'll see what we think as we go here. I'm just checking for the buttons on this because it does not have side buttons. There's the bottom buttons here. They're just tactile. And unfortunately, I'm trying to see if I can get this plastic strip off. It does not look like they're labeled. So let's try to take this little plastic strip they have on the bottom off. That's going to leave some residue. Okay. So there you go. So that is the 24-inch class monitor from Acer. Okay, smile for a thumbnail. There we go. My editor's going to eat that up. I never stop long enough to give them a good thumbnail shot, so here we can do this. Give them something to look at. I am going to pull out my next product here, though, and this one is a tiny little product with a whole lot to offer. I'm going to bring it up on the top down here for a second. Give me 1 second. I got to pick the next product here. And this just happens to be a mini PC, and this mini PC is on sale right now. That was one thing. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys real quickly here. Let's share my window. I'm going to share my NetGuy site here. So hopefully you guys can see that right now. That is my NetGuy page on Amazon. You can see me live there. You can also see my idea list. So if you come in later and I'm not live, you're not watching this current show, go to my idea list, Tech Day Live number 2. These are all of the products that I'm going to show you guys today. So if you're not watching me on Amazon and you want to see what's in the carousel, this is what would be in the carousel. This is what I was talking about a super deal on this thing. So this is a mini PC. I'll tell you all about where you might want to use it and what the specs on this one are. But this thing's $299 normally. It's $70 off right now. So if you check that coupon, you can get $70 off, which brings this whole PC, this little tiny PC that can, down to $239, which is a steal. Now you combine that with a monitor like this, and for around $350, you can actually have a mini PC and monitor for your home theater. Maybe your kids need a PC. So that's a crazy good deal. Maybe you don't want them to have a laptop just yet. Maybe you want to have a desktop or something larger for them to look at. Maybe it's working like a bedroom TV as well. But this one uses a very unique processor. I was hanging out in the Discord the other day while we were unboxing this, checking it out, and it uses the Intel N95 processor. Now, that's got thermals that are much, much similar to a mobile, 105 Celsius TDP. So this definitely has a lot of thermal overhead that you can use if you need to. It is a 4-core, which is also 4 threads. So it's not going to be 8 threads, 6 threads, or higher. So it's not going to do a ton, but I did some Cinebench testing on it. I'll show you what that is in a second. What I do love about it is the amount of I/O that it has. So let's talk about that real quick. I'm going to go to the top down on this one, and I'm going to bring you guys back over here. So this is it right here. Somebody's asking what Discord I belong to when I unbox. I'll tell you on that one later. I can't say that while we're on right now. But this is the mini PC from the Camru company. Now, interestingly enough, it has a message here about the Windows 11 that's installed on it. So you're getting Windows 11 Home installed, pre-installed on this thing with a sticker. Let's go take a look at the I/O. Now, I'm already using a bunch of the I/O on the back, but it is going to have this headphone with mic port. Let me get right down in there so you guys can see this. So it's got this headphone I/O right here. It's going to have gigabit LAN port right here. It's got 2 HDMIs, one of them that I'm using, a USB here on the back, the DC input, and it has this little slide switch. We'll get into what that slide switch does in a second, because when we get around there. This side of it has a USB. Now it's labeled 1, 2, and 3 for the port numbers, but by the colors, there's 2 USB 3s, and it looks like 1 native USB 2. There's a power switch, a little indicator light on the front there. And then on this side, it has a VGA output. So again, if you want to use that VGA output, maybe you've got a device or another monitor that you want to hook it up to that has VGA only, you can do that. So it does have 3 monitor outputs. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in and plug it into our Acer so we can take a look at that. So this is why I did them in this order. I'm going to go ahead and plug the VGA input side to the Acer. I'm going to take us back out so you can see this, and hopefully the Acer will fire right up. We'll see. I might have to move my mouse a little bit. Okay. Bring my mouse and that over. Now technically, there is my system. So I booted this thing up a little bit earlier. This is the full copy of Windows 11 that it has on it. Let's take a look at Task Manager here. Now CPU and RAM on this one, right from there, you're going to have 16 gigs of memory. It looks like it is 2400 megahertz memory on this one. The CPU usage here, you know, it's kind of all over the board, but that's that Intel N95 I was telling you. It's 4-core, 4-thread. This is essentially the new version of a Celeron, right? So you're getting that lower cost, usually lower thermal output. This thing puts out just about nothing normally, which is pretty cool. And, you know, overall for... Oh, I gotta come back to that question. It's like my editor's gonna love this. He's gonna have to stop so many times. But no, there's a lot of things in this one that are, you know, both good and bad. So if you're gonna try to build a gaming machine and put a graphics card and do all this really cool stuff, not gonna do it. This is not designed for doing that kind of stuff. But if you are gonna, you know, go ahead and take this machine and maybe do some light office work, maybe you want to do some web browsing. Let's see here. We can go down and check the browser history on this thing. There's Cinebench. Then I was looking up that. Let's go to amazon.com/shop/thenetguy. Maybe you're doing some last-minute Amazon shopping or watching your favorite creator. There we go. I was doing some other videos. So, again, the machine browsing is pretty snappy. I haven't had any issues with it. You know, that was the cool thing about it. Like I said, we can run Cinebench real quick. I don't know if I have the... There we go. We got the executable version of it. Now, normally I'll run the hardware test and we'll have HW info running as well. But, you know, one of the things I'll tell you on this, the Cinebench came in at about 2,500, which you're like, oh my gosh, 2,500. That's going to be like an i7 4850 laptop right here. Or it's going to be one of these i7 models down here. It's going to be in the very low mobile range. But that's, again, where this thing's coming in. If you want something that you can just tuck in, I was actually thinking this would be great in a car. If you wanted something that can be powered, I believe it's got a 12-volt power supply. I'll have to double check on that. But if you want something that can be powered by a low power system, and I believe the maximum draw on this is 30 watts. So at maximum, the whole unit's going to draw 30 watts. If you want something that can fit in those specs, maybe use it for an embedded system. This would be pretty cool. I know a lot of people don't like the current home theater PCs. Nothing says you have to keep the Windows on here. You could throw Linux on or something else, which is kind of cool. But very good. Oh, I love it. Kren says, Inception shortly. NetGuy in a NetGuy video in a NetGuy video. Yes, we could probably pull that off, Kren. I love it. And actually, somebody asked about the Windows bloatware. No, not technically. The Windows on here actually comes very clean. There's almost nothing on it, actually. You still, unfortunately, with Windows 11, have to create an online account. There's very few ways to do it without that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do the multi-core up here, just so you can see it run, but it's not going to be incredibly fast. You know, again, you're only going to have 4 threads running in here, so it's going to get that going. While I'm doing that, I'm actually going to come back out to the product page real quick, just so you can see a little bit more about this one. And we'll go through some of the pictures here. So there it is, 6 megs of cache, 15 watt TDP, but I believe it goes up to 105 degrees. It's ridiculous what they amount to here. And there's some of the performance rating that they're showing, kind of how it comes in. It, again, is more like a Celeron, but it's actually going to have full cores in there, and 4 of them. It is going to come with 16 gigs RAM. It does have a 512 gig SSD built into it. So that's kind of cool. We'll open it up and we'll take a look at some of the expansion it has here in just a second. There is the ton of ports that it has. Now, if this had one more LAN port, it would be an amazing little router package because it's got enough CPU to do some of those compressions. I believe this CPU has the quick sync video from Intel, which would be pretty cool if you're going to use it as kind of like a video decoding machine. So that's another cool feature that it has. And then if you take a look at it, it's really pretty well built. Now, it says SSD not included. It actually does include an NVMe SSD down below, but there's a spot up here that you're going to see how we get to it, that you can actually put your own SSD in it. And look how tiny that is. Now, what's funny is I don't actually have the VESA mounting on this monitor, which would be kind of really cool. But if you're looking at point of sale systems, and I've helped a lot of people design and build point of sale systems, this thing would be an excellent companion for point of sale, because you want a very affordable PC with limited power, limited I/O, that maybe is connecting to a terminal server, maybe is connecting to a web page, maybe just runs a touch screen. This would be amazing for that. Now, this does come with, let me pull you guys back over here. So it is going to come with an HDMI cable. This is the box that it comes with here, and everything in it. Let me scoot back out here so you can see it all. And so really, there's the adapter they're talking about. Now, this is kind of cool. This would fit on the back of your monitor, and then there's holes on the bottom of this that it clicks into, so you can do what they were showing in that picture, where you could actually mount it to the back of a monitor. It's going to have a bunch of extra little drive connectors. It's going to have a power brick there, and it's going to have a manual that's going to tell you all about it and all the features. So again, these are coming way down in price. I would challenge you, you could probably not build yourself anything even close to an Intel NUC or an ITX that would come in at the 230 range with RAM, with chip, with 512 gigs of storage. You know, prices are coming down. They're not coming down that good. So this as a complete package is very interesting for point of sale. Another feature there. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to open up the top of it, and we'll start looking around if we can. They didn't tell me to get this deep into it, but I'm going to go ahead and do that for you, because I know we got a lot of nerds that are watching that are kind of interested in how this thing ticks. I'm actually going to use a product I showed you last week. So this was actually sent out by the Aeromax company, and it's one of my favorite new little design screwdrivers. So this is the one I use now. I've got the other one in my bag. So this is the Pro model, which has the automatic direction finding. So if you start it in one direction versus another, it'll automatically figure that out. So on the back of this device, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the screw in there, push the button, and just turn a little left, and it knows I'm unscrewing that screw. So this little safety screw that they include here is to keep people from pulling your hard drive out of your machine. So I'm going to put that there. But now that I've taken that off, I can turn this little switch on the back, and I can access the inside of this machine. Now, like I said, they don't let you really get much deeper than this without doing some creative stuff, which I might be able to show you. But right here is the SATA connector. It's power and data that are ready to go. So you can plug in your 2.5-inch drive if you want additional storage. So again, you're looking at maybe doing a home theater PC. You want to give this thing a couple terabytes. Maybe you got an old spinning, 2 terabyte, 2.5-inch, or maybe you've got a newer SSD you want to throw in there. You can do that. Now, if you want to get deeper in this, I'll show you a trick here. I may not do it on camera because we don't have that much time. And if you open these feet, underneath the feet are actually 4 more screws. So if you go underneath these feet, you can take those off, and you can get all the way down to the internal memory and everything else on this. So that's the PC overall. Let's take a quick look back onto Cinebench. There you go. So it is running Cinebench, as you can see. Not going to win any races at this. At the 2500 range, again, thermals, that's what things designed for, is very low power, very low thermals. So if you're going to use things that like Intel QuickSync video, things like that it's actually got the codecs for, it's going to do just fine, even though it doesn't have a ton of processing power. I wouldn't be using this as a streaming gateway or anything like that, but for a router, this thing would be awesome. And as Kren says here, pair it with a 3.0 gigabit USB adapter for that routing purpose. You can find one that's compatible with Linux. This would be an awesome little router package in this small of a form factor. So kind of a cool thing if you're into that. So that is the first 2 products that we've got up here, is the N95 mini PC and this Acer 24-inch monitor. Overall, let's take a look at how the monitor is looking. I'm using 2 inputs. We're also mirroring the inputs on here. So let me go ahead and just do the Windows P trick, and we'll do a duplicate. So then we'll go back to Cinebench. So now you can see I've got Cinebench up here in my window, and I'm streaming it on HDMI as well. So there you go. And then, wow, there goes the turbo on the cores. Those couple just flew by here, so it liked whatever we were doing, how we were moving it. That's kind of cool. So that is from the Camry company. That is their N95 budget mini PC. Now I'm going to bring this down here, We're going to get the next couple products out. If you have questions about this one, if you're interested in it, let me know in the chat if you've got anything specific you want to see. That's the cool thing about doing this live is I can stop and go do something, take a look at something, find out an answer for you. And the chat's been incredibly helpful. They're using. So actually, what Jonathan Talks Hardware says, maybe a PFSense router combo would be nice. Yeah, this would actually do really well with PFSense. That's a good point. Okay, I'm going to get a couple things moved out of our way here because we will not be using them again. And then we're going to go on to some of our next products. Hopefully you guys are having a great week. We are just turning the corner here right now on weather. You know, it's just the first week that's not completely socked in with rain. We had about 1.5 inches in the last couple days. I am taking a look real quick here on the Amazon chat. I just want to make sure everybody's taken care of. Hey there. Sending that in real quick. Yep. Jonathan's down in Florida. He says it gets hot down there, and that is absolutely true. So the next product that I'm going to bring up is actually one that when I showed it the first time to some of my Discord friends, they were like, oh my gosh, that's this. And I'm like, well, I don't know what that is because I didn't have that model, but it was very similar. And what they were talking about was this is from the company that used to be called Aftershocks. So this is the Shocks, now their new name, OpenComm, a bone conducting Bluetooth headset. I know that's a whole lot to say here. Let me get it here on the top down. You'll get to see more exactly what it is. So this is from OpenComm. This is a headset with a microphone, and its claim to fame here, this one does not go in your ears. It's one of the few headphone headset combinations that doesn't plug your ear canal. So there's a variety of advantages of this, and there's a ton of disadvantages. So I need to talk about both of these if I'm going to be square with you. So I've been using these for a little over a month now. I wanted to have some time with them because they are new and they are very different than most earbud headphones. Let's go ahead and open them up, and I'll start talking through what you're going to get with them. So not having an opening in these makes them waterproof. So if you've ever wanted to take your earbuds swimming, you can't do that. Now, they make the versions of these that are waterproof. I'll take a look at the exact ones on this one to make sure that they are going to be waterproof for this model. I think the microphone may be the only thing that gets them into trouble, but they have waterproof versions of the bone conducting ones. Now, I do have 2 of these on the show today, and I did that on purpose because I want to show you these, and then I want to show you maybe a cheaper option. So I'm going to go ahead and open these up here. And this is what they look like inside. Now, they almost look like the older Logitech made a wraparound headset. I'm going to set these down and I'll show you the side of them here. So there's the one side that they have, and then they loop over your ears. There's a multifunction button there. On the bottom here is going to be a plus. This is also your power button. And a minus, that's going to be for volume up, volume down. There's this magnetic contact, which is unique to a lot of the bone conducting headsets. A lot of them use USB-C. I've even had one that has mini. But take a look at this. If we take that charger, we get it close, it's really similar to MagSafe. So if you've ever used a Mac and MagSafe, so that's going to magnetically attach, and then it's going to start charging. So when it charges, there's a light here on the side, very small and hard to see, but there's going to be a little tiny light spot there, and that's going to turn red while it's charging. There is on this model this flip out boom microphone. That's the big difference on this one versus the other ones out there. So now you'll notice that there's no opening on these. There's a little bit of, looks like sweat or residue on it from me. But what they do is they actually fit up against the side of your temples. Now I'm going to show you when I put them on here. I'm going to see if I can do this with this camera. This will be interesting. Okay, everybody, we're going to get close here. Okay, so you can see where I'm actually using this to hold the microphone here right against that temple. That's exactly where this is going to sit. So when I put it on, it's going to be a little weird. But it's actually sitting right there on that bone. And that's going to go down into your ear, where your ear drum is and all the other intricate details of your ear. And that's going to have a vibration that's going to travel through there. Now, like I said, there's some interesting things about this. This may be better if you have certain types of hearing loss. Some types of hearing loss are not repairable, but this may help if you have certain types of hearing loss because of where it touches. Now, if you are a little claustrophobic, you don't like having big earphones, if your ears get hot, maybe you get pains in your ears, maybe you're a runner. A lot of people don't like the earbuds because they can cause pain. This may be a great option for you. Now, I'm a road warrior, weekend warrior. I do stuff all day long on the phone. I'm on at least 6 hours a day of Teams calls right now. And one of the things that I have a problem with when you're doing that is clear audio. So, I wanted to make sure these things had crystal clear audio. And overall, they have some of the best noise canceling in the microphone of anything. So let's talk about some of the benefits and the drawbacks. Benefits, you're not blocking your ear canal. This is one of the few sets that you can use while driving a car because they don't block your existing hearing. Now, the problem with that is when I went on a flight recently, I took these and I was listening to an audiobook. We started to take off and I couldn't hear a thing. Bone conduction or not, if you have a lot of sound coming in and you need that passive noise canceling, these did nothing at all, and potentially were a little bit worse just because it made the ambient noise louder by being there and trying to add additional noise to it. So that's one of the drawbacks of them, is in very noisy environments, they're not going to work. Now, the microphone in a very noisy environment is excellent. Now, for music, if you're looking for high fidelity, this again has no opening. That's another interesting thing, right? So some models of these are waterproof. There's no opening on these speakers. You'll feel them vibrate, and you can hold them up and you can hear that they're making noise, but they're actually sending some of that through bone conduction. Some of it's just, hearing passively. But yeah, that's one of the interesting things, is because they don't have any sort of openings, they don't get dirty. I would feel much better sharing these with somebody because they don't actually go into your ear. They sit on the outside of your ear. So that's really cool. I do have a test I want to show you guys, and hopefully it works. Now, I haven't prepared for this, so it may work, it may not. I'm going to go ahead and hit this button. I did a little bit of a test earlier today, and I wanted to show you what they sound like with and without the shocks on. So I recorded this in my car. Here's a quick 22-second clip. And you'll have to tell me if it's too loud. They tend to be a little bit loud. So let me know in the chat if this one is too loud.
This is John the Net Guy again, and I'm doing a test of the Open Comm by Shocks. Now I don't have them on. I'm using just the regular audio here.
Hopefully you guys
going
can hear
60
that.
miles an hour down the freeway. I'm going to roll the window down just so you can hear what the sound is, the ambient noise, and how hard it is to hear so better.
Okay, so hopefully if everything went right, in that clip, I actually showed you using them, not using them, using just my regular audio, what that sounded like. I'm actually going to play you the other clip now, and you're going to get to hear what I sound like through the shocks. And it is night and day difference. Same exact car, same exact road, same speed, everything. Here we go.
Okay, this is John the Net Guy, and we are going down the freeway at 60 miles an hour here, and you're hearing what the road noise is like from that prior test that I just did. I'm going to go ahead and roll the window down. I'm going to try to keep talking and see if you can clear me. So, that's what we're talking about right now. Yeah, a lot of noise, cars driving by. Definitely something that I would recommend. It's very smart to be.
Okay, barely able to hear it, Jonathan says.
Great noise canceling capabilities. So definitely one of the reasons we get for those aftermarket headsets by Shocks.
So let me know if you want to hear that one more time. What I can do is I can send that back through. But the big difference there is the pickup on these microphones, incredibly, sensitive, but also able to reject a ton of noise. So I'm driving down the road, you can hear me talking normally, which is an amazing feat of engineering, I think, when using these headset versus when I'm using just the open air stuff, very hard to hear in the car. With these, you could be driving and I wouldn't know that you were driving. Somebody on the other videos I was watching about these before I picked them up, can you yell at that, Mike? Somebody said, no, these before I picked them up, I was listening and somebody was doing a demo by a noisy roadway. and they were just standing there talking on their regular phone, and they put these on and did it, and it was night and day. The sound just completely went away, which is beautiful. So the price on these, let me pull them up right now in the Amazon carousel. I believe they are on sale, but they are not cheap. They are, looks like today through Amazon, $134.95. They are 16% off. Let me go ahead and pull these up from my show page. I'm going to bring the show page back up for you guys. So these are the Shocks. Again, Aftershocks was the company name before. You can see I purchased them there. They're 16% off right now, and they do come overnight, which is kind of cool. That's another neat advantage on these. Very decent quality. Actually, you know what? I need to log out. I need to be on my guest account on this one. I don't want to put all of my shopping information in here. So we're not going to kids mode. I wanted to go guest. Can I go to guest profile? Guest. There we go. And then I'm going to do amazon.com/shop/thenetguy. Okay, we'll go back into my storefront here, and then we're going to take a look at these, like I said. So they are not showing on sale right now, but they are on sale with Prime if you want to do that. And there it goes. Now, why did that not update? For some reason, when I turned off of that, I got to go back over here. Sorry, 1 second, guys. I got to turn off my share and then turn the share back on. Window, and that one. There we go. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, you've got that very comfortable feel. You're not going to have anything protruding in your ears. This is a very different kind of technology. Let's talk about some other drawbacks to it, though. If you're looking for high fidelity audio, there's no actual reverb of the diaphragm. It's not able to get, very low bass. And the highs, it's not incredibly high, like if you're listening to very crystal clear music. So I'm not saying it's muddied, but it's not perfect sounding. So if you're looking for perfect audio reproduction, skip these guys. These are, again, for your workouts, for your comfort, for that super quiet noise canceling that they have. That's where I would pick these. Now, another aspect of these that's a warning, I would say, be very, very careful if you use Microsoft Teams with these. I've been working with their salespeople. I message back and forth with their support, and there is an issue with Microsoft Teams. So if you're a Zoom company or Blue Jeans or GoToMeeting or WebEx or all these other things are fine. Microsoft Teams shuts down the microphone in Windows, and it causes it to give a noise, and it's basically saying, hey, your microphone is turned off, your Bluetooth is muted, and it'll beep at you like every 10 seconds. So if you like to be beeped at every 10 seconds, which drove me nuts, don't buy these if you have Teams. That's what I would say. So that's one major drawback. The way to fix that, if you've already purchased them, is you can buy a separate Bluetooth adapter interface, and it will leave those open. It doesn't mess with those. But for some reason, the default Bluetooth interface in Windows, it likes to turn off the microphone via hard mute, and it's the only app that does it. Now, another option you can do is you can join your Teams meetings with the Teams web client. That doesn't allow it to mess with Windows. So that's another way. Now, you can mute by using the bottom buttons here. You can turn mute on and off. You can check the battery levels. The multifunction button can be used to answer phone calls. That's another great feature of these. And overall, I didn't return them. I was on the edge, but I didn't return them because they really work so well in those certain situations. If I'm going to be mowing the backyard, probably not using these unless I'm trying to not hear the lawnmower running, because that noise canceling on the mic is so good. So that's just a quick information about these. They will work with PCs. They will work with anything that has a Bluetooth interface, which is great. So that's from the Shocks company. Wanted to show you guys those today. Now I have another one coming up here that's it's a little different, definitely a lower price, and very similar if you want to get into this technology, but you're not willing to risk so much to get the top of the line here. So if you want something that is bone conduction, you want something that is waterproof, you want some of that capability, I've got one coming up here that I can show you in just a second that meets all those criteria. So I'm going to put these away for now. And it's funny, I'm going to go dig them out here in a second anyway, because I bought these for me. These were not sent to me by Aftershocks, but again, from Shocks. That's the OpenCom. Let's get a nice thumbnail. Yeah, there we go. There you go. You guys are helping me make content here. Looking here real quick if there's any questions in the chat. Looking good. My school uses Teams. Oh, Jonathan, I'm so sorry, man. That is the drawback on these ones, unfortunately. I've got a product coming up that is just fantastic. Let me get that up here on the carousel. We'll get a top-down shot. Now, unfortunately, all of the video that I shot last night has not been processed yet, but this right here is a smartwatch. This, again, is going to be, I want to get the name of the company right. I've got it over there. It's Kospet. Kospet. It sounds German, but again, looks like it's out of UK and Germany. Okay, so it is from UK and Germany. This is from Kospet. This is the K2 or the T2 tank watch. It reminds me very similar to the Garmin, just the round that it has. Now, I'm going to have to bring this up nice and close for you guys to see any of the features. But when I took this thing apart last night, man, I was super impressed with this. Comes in a nice box. When you open it up, the strap is separate from it. Now, I'm hoping that the auto, let me take this out of the way, that my auto exposure on this will come through so you can see it in better detail. It's got a nice rubberized strap here, and you can add that strap. Let's flip it over real quick and look at it. So it's going to have your standard heartbeat sensor, but it also has this magnetic charging base. Now, you don't have to charge it very often. We'll look at the exact specs on this thing, but multiple days, at least a week of battery life, if not more. I haven't had, unfortunately, the time to test it for that long. I've been using it for about 24 hours now, but in those 24 hours, let me tell you, I'm impressed. I'm going to turn it on. So I'm going to go ahead and use the side of the watch there. Now, it booted up that fast from off. I had it completely off, and I'm actually just looking for my cleaner. I wanted to be able to clean this one for you. Give me 1 second, because this leaves a tiny bit of residue, and this screen is so beautiful. Look at that screen. So it has a timeout on the screen, so it'll turn itself on and off, but I don't even know if my camera's going to focus on how clear that screen is. And look how dark the blacks are. Beautiful watch face here, and it's got a ton of features. So there, I was using it earlier. There's the walking. There's the sleeping. Now, again, studio's super bright in here, so I'm trying to do this live. I'll have a lot more detail. There's my resting heart rate. Heart rate before the show was 107. I was getting excited to come see you guys. I took this thing off, but it had my heart rate at night down as low as 53. So you can see my low of the day is 53. It's going to do pulse oximetry. I don't know how it even does this, but it said that my blood pressure was 124/80, which is, my doctor would be love that if that's the actual amount. It does have the weather where I live. It also has the weather for the next few days. I'm sorry, it just lost focus there for a second. There's the weather for the next few days, the current weather that we have. And this actually allows me to play music. Now, you can play music through the watch. It does act like a phone source, but you are going to burn the battery a lot faster when you're doing that. But usually what you can use this for is if you want to, control music in whatever your phone or your other player is. Now, I put in here my call history here. Turn it on, so we want to allow that. Let's go to call history. There's a few people that have called me earlier today. There's some numbers that I called. There's another number. I dialed through this, made a few calls. I had a 6-minute call earlier on it, and it was fine. It was funny because, you don't think of using your watch to make calls. It's kind of, gimmicky, but you can do that. It also has the ability now. Oh, Soph just says, "Hi, John. Remember me?" Soph, unfortunately, I haven't been streaming in a while. I don't know if you had a different name, but I don't remember you just directly. But there we go. We're taking a look at this watch. Now, what I wanted to show you real quick is if I double tap here, what's the weather outside? Oh, sorry. I was on the wrong screen. Voice assistant, connect the watch with the app. Okay, so I did turn Bluetooth off on my phone. I need to get it connected here, and we're going to do the Kospet app. So this is the app that it uses. Hopefully you guys can see that, and I can bring that up here in a second. So the app is fully featured here. So you're going to have your sleep history. You're going to have your exercise history. You're going to have a full graph of your heart rate. So there's the heart rate, like you can see when I last synchronized with this. So it should be connecting here. Now the voice assistant did come up. Unfortunately, I was doing something else. But let me show you what that voice assistant button does. So if you double tap the lower right button, what time is it? Now, it was doing this earlier. It may just be having some stage fright with the show. But what it does is it launches your native Siri interface. Oh, what time is it? So it launches your native Siri interface, and it basically acts like a microphone and transfers that request to the device. So you can actually do that. It will work with both the iPhone and any of your Google Android voice assistants, which is pretty slick. This has a ton of features as far as the UI and customizability goes. So if you look here, and I'm going to try and get this thing to focus a little bit better, I can change the brightness down, which is kind of funny that I have to do that because the screen is so bright that my camera is actually not adjusting to it well. So there you go. There's the screen. I actually had to turn it down for it to work here. But you've got a bunch of different controls. You've got the ability to find your phone, which is awesome. He's got a low power mode, a do not disturb mode. So if I'm going to go into my church, I can hit the do not disturb. It does have a raise to wake feature, and it does have calling features. So if I want to be able to answer, I need to keep that call on. It acts as a different type of Bluetooth device than when you do that. As far as raise to wake, let me show you what that looks like. So again, if I'm wearing it this way and I turn it off, as soon as I turn it up this way to take a look at it, you see how the screen turned on automatically, and I go back away. Now, the screen turns on automatically. So that's the raise to wake. That's going to save you quite a bit of battery power. Now, it looks dim right now because I've actually lowered it so much for my camera. But if I go ahead and use the touchscreen here, I can raise the brightness up. And like I said, this thing, fantastic screen on it. Let me show you what that looks like here. There's on the GoPro. Hopefully the GoPro will focus on it eventually. But yeah, very, very detailed screen. I was very happy with that. It doesn't actually look like your standard run-of-the-mill smartwatches. A lot of your smartwatches, especially when they're, you know, in the lower budget ranges, the screens are not going to be super detailed. So let me show you this one here. So that's the watch face. I love the movement on this one. It does have 24, you know, in different hour modes. Let me go back over the top down because I think I can show you a little bit better on this now. So a couple tricks of the trade on this one. So this is the background that it has right now. If I hold down on it, I can actually change it to one of many watch faces. So I can go with whatever I want. I can use the app and download new watch faces at any time. In fact, I downloaded this watch face because it reminded me a little bit more of my Citizen Echo Drive that I had. So that's a watch face. Let me go ahead and turn the, the brightness down one more time, just so we can get it on the camera a little bit better. That's so funny. Yeah, the screen is so good that I have to turn the brightness down. So again, that's, you know, brightness turned down even, and you can see that's not a physical ticking hand there. That is actually a digital display that's running on this thing, and it just looks really awesome. So that was kind of cool. That is, again, from Cosbet Company. Let me go ahead and plug it in, and I'm going to show you what the app looks like here directly on my phone. And I got to get a couple cables out. Sorry for the delay, because I want to show you this. Downloading accessory firmware. I've never seen that. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Downloading accessory firmware. Here we go. Well, we're going to find out if it will function. There you go. So again, I just wanted to show you directly what that app looks like so you can see it in further detail. There was my heart rate going up right before the show, and that'll do that naturally. There was my blood pressure measurement, my blood oxygen measurements. You know, it's going to have all those different things if I want them or not. If you want to go do some sort of run or anything else, it's going to actually show you your route. It's going to track your walking, your hiking, all that kind of stuff. It does not have GPS built into it, so that's one thing you're going to have to remember. It doesn't have some of the features I would have liked actually that are on it, like if I go to SSMS here. So now I'm turning my alerting on. I was having some problems. It doesn't have a scheduler on your phone side here. I was hoping that it had a scheduler where I could say, you know, from these hours don't do it. But I actually did find it in the watch itself. So you got to go into the watch itself. Now I can pick and choose it. One of the things that you get with having a smartwatch, if you're like me, way too many notifications. So if you're getting spammed with too many notifications, you are definitely not going to want to be having those on. So with this app, you can go in and you can turn on individual apps to allow them to notify your watch. So if you're waiting for, you know, my case, a video to upload, I can tell my YouTube Studio to be enabled, and that'll pop up when my video is available now. So lots of cool features like that. Again, let's go take a look at the product page on this one because there's a lot to see here. You know, back over. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. So why is that screen so beautiful? This is the Ammo LED. The OLED display. So it's got the AMOLED. Look at that screen. That is, again, a digital display. That's not a real chronograph there. That is what the default looks like. What I do want to point out real quick, too, is that this is going to show you the battery level, the heart rate, the steps, the date, time, all those kind of things on one master display. And you can choose what you want to have based on the watch face. It does figure out and customize to that. It is going to be mil spec, completely waterproof, dustproof, shockproof. They have a great video if you guys have time you can go in here where they're drilling with a drill bit, that ceramic bit there, and then they go right onto the screen and they don't do anything. It does come with a screen protector as well. I did not use a screen protector. I probably should, but I wasn't going to be doing anything, really laborious or dangerous. But if you're worried about that, it even comes with a screen protector you can add on to it. So there is the Tank T2, the 1.43-inch display. It does have an always-on mode. I'll tell you, if you turn always-on mode on, which is kind of cool, a lot of the smartwatches don't let you keep it always on. But if you want to have that on, it will burn the battery up a little bit more. So it does say it has 50 days ultra long battery life. We should talk about that. So it's a 410 milliamp hour. I could not believe how light this watch is. I wish I had my, you know what? I don't on me. I wish I had my scale on here because this thing weighs nothing. I've had large face Citizen, other, large watches, and they are heavy. Even the titanium one I have feels heavier than this. But it's crazy. This thing is super light for having that large of a battery. And it's going to say that you're going to have 15 hours direct music playback if you're playing it, 15 hours of call time. So that's burning up both the speaker, the mics, and the Bluetooth constantly. If you're doing a lot of usage, you're going to get 8 to 12 days. If you're just going to use it as a watch, maybe get some notifications here and there, you're going to get 10 to 15 days. It does recharge, I believe, in 2 hours was what I was looking at. So the 50-day is standby time, and the 15-day quote is just daily usage. Now, it is going to automatically figure out, I guess, what kind of activity you're doing. Luckily, typing on a keyboard, it did not get convinced that I was doing anything related to exercise. I think I've got 1,500 steps today is how bad it is. But this will do and track all those things. And like I said, it will actually do a map for you as well. And let me see if I can pull up my sleep schedule. So this is, again, the sleep that they're talking about. Let me pull up my sleep screen so you can see what it looks like in the app. So there you go. So that's what the sleep looks like. Last night it was a long day of sleep. I actually got 7 hours and 38 minutes, which is not quite normal. Now, embarrassingly enough, I was wearing 2 watches for the last 24 hours because I've got another watch coming up towards the end of the show, which I'll show you. And that watch was a little bit different, and they were within 5 minutes of each other based on my sleep time, it said. So that's kind of cool. It's going to track your deep sleep, your light sleep, your REM sleep, and your awake time. Now, awake time, it considers, like, I had a little run to the bathroom in here, I think, and that's what it considered. That was about 2 in the morning. Don't get old, people. Don't get old. No. So that's the orange at the top there. So that would be awake time where, went and then came back. So it'll detect that as well. So just wanted to show you that. If there's any questions, I'm taking a look here. Oh, here we go. Yes, Galaxy Watch looking front. It very much does look like that watch. And again, maybe that's what they were going for. I'm going to go back to the top-down view here. Now you can see I've had to turn that screen down. So that's how pretty that screen is. Again, just looks great. I'm really excited to wear this. I do think that because it, again, does look like a much more expensive smartwatch in here, I would love to have this maybe going out to eat, but I still want that smartwatch capability. I do want to take this with me boating and doing other cool stuff because then I can look at my messages real quick. It does have message capabilities. Let's talk about that. Sorry, I got to swipe up to go to messages. So here you go. This was from my wife last night. She says, go to sleep. And so that message came through. I can delete that. I can also look, again, some of my other alerts here. Alpha Tech, they make some really cool stuff. They make some neat hidden cameras that I'm going to be showing you guys in a future show. So they sent me an email. So it's got email, Twitter, other message alerts that are coming through. Now the round shape is very stylish. They also, oh gosh, I can't believe I didn't even show you that. They've got another cool feature I want to show you before I get too far out of here. And let's see. So I swipe up, swipe down, that's messages, swipe left, and you can see I have this kind of list view of all of the different apps that I want to go to. So it's got SOS capabilities, it's got all the settings, it's got the voice assistant, alarms, alarm clocks, messaging, all that kind of capability. That's done in one type of layout. If I click on this button right here and I can go back, I can actually make it look very much, sorry, like the iPhone layout. Remember that round, honeycomb look? It can do that. I can go directly to my stuff, and so I can get myself into big trouble. I'll play this. So now this is going to play out of whatever device I've got. Now it's coming out of the dock connector, so maybe you guys are hearing that, maybe not. I don't have the audio on. Let me go ahead and take that off. Ooh, I cannot turn that off on my phone right now because it is plugged into the dock connector. It's playing music out of that. But I can change tracks. I can increase or lower volume right from the watch, and that's going to my phone and out the connector here. So very Apple Watch-esque feature. So that's from the Cospet company. If we go back to their page, they've got it right now for $109, which I think is a fantastic price on this one, with an additional $30 off. So you're getting a watch that looks like the Galaxy Watch. It has a lot of capabilities. Now, are you going to be able to tell it to send messages via voice? Not directly from the watch. Now, you can do that through the voice assistant through the watch, but the watch doesn't have any sort of texting interface or anything like that. Pictures are not going to come through, so if you get a message, an iMessage with pictures, you're not going to see that on the watch. Again, this is more for just receiving notifications, not really creating content. So that's another thing to think about. But a great value here. Very much looking forward to this. And this right now, $109 with an additional, let me pull that back up here, 30% off coupon if you wanted to apply that today. So very cool. I'm going to go on to the next product, which is kind of exciting to me as well. If you don't have one of these, man, you should get one, and I'll show you why. So give me 1 second to swap out what we've got, and I'll pull this one up. We'll do a really pretty thumbnail picture for my editors. And then we're going to do an unboxing. So this is from the Nelco company. Let me get this up on the carousel. I feel bad if I don't put it on the carousel, and then the guys are asking me, they're like, oh, where's the product you're talking about? I don't see it. This is also in the video description if you're watching there. This is something that I think almost everybody that ships things should have, because I can tell you, I get so tired of trying to print things out, cutting them out, then taping that to a box, worrying that that's going to fall off. So I got to do 7 passes of tape. One of these devices, if you don't have one in your home already, can really make your life easier. It's a thermal label printer. Use a standard 4x6 thermal labels. It's going to come with several of them for you to try out. Buying additional thermal labels is dirt cheap. I've got a whole box of them upstairs that I use. But let me show you all about it. And this is from, again, Nelco company. This is their Bluetooth thermal label printer. So you can see it right there. Now, Amazon's going to get mad if they see a label on here. For some reason, they think it's a privacy thing. So I'm going to be real careful as I open this up to show you. This is what you're going to get. I'm going to go back out a little bit more. Okay. So inside of this package, you're actually going to get quite a few different things. You're going to have a firmware and software drivers for your Windows or Mac that are going to be here on this, a USB-C adapter, so just in case your computer doesn't have the type A, but it's going to come with a small USB key. It's going to tell you how to connect your phone to it. It's going to have all of the support information. It's going to have a full manual, which is great. And then it's going to have this package here, which I didn't even open up because honestly, I went and I grabbed my own labels just to use them. But I'm going to open this package up here so you can see about how many labels you're going to come with. So it looks like it's a continuous feed, double-sided. There looks to be at least 25 to 30 labels in here. And that's what they look like. So they come off here and it says this side should be down. That's the sticky side. And we'll show you how to feed that into the printer. Every one of these printers, this I pulled out of the printer when I looked at it, is going to come in with the app that you can install on your phone, as well as full details. And this is basically a self-test out of your printer. So in this case, this was mine. So that's what the self-test came through. It is going to have a USB cable. I'm not going to use that. I don't need USB anymore because I love doing this for my phone. People are so funny. We had some relatives come by and visit, and they wanted to ship something back to themselves. And so it was kind of funny. I said, okay, I can ship that for you. And what I did is I got on my phone. I went to my favorite shipping vendor. It's a R name. I can't tell you what they are, but I went to their website. I put in their address. We had the item weighed, and I said, "Okay, I'll send it to you. It's going to be like $30 or whatever it was." I'm going to go ahead and take this AC adapter out, and we're going to unbox this unit right here. So then, this is what the unit looks like. Fairly compact. So again, there's my hand next to it. So a little bit bigger than the size of your hand. I've had other ones that are smaller, but honestly, I like the firmness of this one. I'm going to go ahead and put this here. And again, this is from Nelco. This is their Bluetooth label printer. Now I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to get printing labels. I'm just going to go ahead and plug it in. And we're going to run a couple test labels through it. And I ran some last night. I was really, really happy with it. It actually, the printing is even faster, I think, with their app than some others. So let me show you that. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in the AC adapter for this. It's going to go into the back of the unit. So right here on the back of the unit, it's going to have USB, power switch. I'm going to put the power switch off. Then I'm going to put it on. Okay, to show you guys how this works, I'm actually going to switch cameras now. So there you go. So that's the unit. It's not happy with me because I don't have any material for it to print on. So this is what it looks like. To open it up, you just push forward on that side button, and then you can look and see if there's any jams. There's no jams. The nice thing about these continuous feed labels, again, is once you put them through, it's going to work great. My other one, you had to open it up every time and do it. This one, if you close it, you just put the label up to the front. It's going to auto feed, it's going to back itself up, and that green light means you're ready to go. So now I'm going to bring up the phone app, and I'm going to show you that next step in the process. Okay. Here we go. So their app, let's see, shipping printer is what it's called. I'm going to pull that up here. I'm going to bring this up on the side. There we go. So this is shipping printer app here. I'm going to bring myself in so you can see me as well. Now you can pick whatever you want, if you want a PDF file or not. Up here, if you pick this, you'll see all of your Bluetooth devices here. So that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and go to my PDF files. Now what's funny is I'm going to grab this, which is a sample label. Amazon, don't get me in trouble. There's no person that's John Doe. That's not a real address. But I can go down here and you can say, where do you want the content? How do you want it to print? And I just want to show you how quickly this does it. So I'm going to hit the print button here. It's rendering the print job. Instantaneous there. Now I've got this label. I'm going to show you guys on the top down what it looks like. So I've got a label that's now ready to go right on a package, just like that. So you don't have to do anything. I can now peel this off. I can go stick it wherever I want. So I can stick it on that package over there. If I want to make another one, you know what's funny? I'll show you another trick here. I actually had a different PDF file. I was talking about going boating earlier. This is our marina where we're going to be this summer. And I'm going to hit print. And this is a standard PDF file. Now this thing's only going to do black and white because the thermal labels, they don't do tons of shades of gray. It takes a little bit longer to render this one because there's a lot of graphical detail in it. But it will go ahead and print this out. I was amazed by it, that it was even able to do this. I have some samples of that as well. So you don't need to only use this for shipping labels. I could see this being used for barcodes. In this case, this is a map. I just printed out a doc map for this marina, with all the information on it. And this was a full-size PDF print, and I was just able to use it as a regular printer. So again, you can use this with any type of item that you want to print. I can also see this being used for barcodes. That's one of the other projects I'm working on here pretty soon. So I can print out a row of barcodes. You can go stick them on things and they'll work with any sort of barcode gun. So again, uses 4x6-inch thermal print labels. And those you can use from anywhere. It worked great with the universal ones that I had earlier. And that's basically how it works. I'm going to take a look for the questions. Not any questions on here. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So as far as what services will work with, it's going to work with FedEx, UPS, USPS, all of the major ones, DHL, all standardized on the 4x6 print. So that's a good thing. You're not going to be wasting a bunch of paper, have to fold things, cut things, stick things on. This is all pre-sticked labeling. If I open it up here, you can kind of see how this works. It's got a thermal printer right there, and you saw how fast that first print job came out with the sample label. That was one thing I'm very excited about. Now, this will work with PC and Mac software, and it runs just like a normal printer. It's just going to print on much smaller sheets of paper. So if you have a program, maybe you're doing an Avery label, mail merge, things like that, you can use this to print your mailing labels. You're just going to get a lot more per, and then you can cut them out. That's another trick. And you can also buy different sizes of paper and just configure your printer to say, hey, I only want so much, and it'll do that. So you can get the prefab paper for even just mailing labels. But that's another product. Again, this one here is from the Nelco company. Very excited. It works again with your Android, iPhone, PC, or Mac. Something you should be taking a look at. If you ship maybe once every 2 weeks, that's a lot of shipping every year. That's 26 shipments a year. And you're going to be going through 26, pieces of paper, trying to find labels, doing all that. With this, it's super peace of mind. You just go ahead and go directly from your phone. You can hit the print button. It comes right out. You stick it on and you go. It makes things simple. And with the pickup services that they have now from all of these different places, you're barely leaving your house and you can go get this all done. So very happy again. It does have a USB and a Bluetooth interface. There is no Wi-Fi on this one, which actually makes it even easier. It is also portable. So if you're going to go to a place and you're going to be maybe doing a yard sale or doing some sort of eBay stuff for people, you can bring this with you, plug it into power, use your phone with Bluetooth, and go straight out of the printer. So you don't have to have any Wi-Fi or anything crazy. So that is getting us close, second to last product here. I need to bring up one other cool product. And that is our second smartwatch of the day. Jonathan Talks Hardware says he hates wasting things. I do too. So awesome, Jonathan. Yeah, this is a really cool feature. Now let me pull this up on the carousel. This is our second smartwatch. This one I would say is on your, if you're working with a kid, maybe you have a parent that is just looking for their first smartwatch. I've recommended several different ones. This one is going fairly quickly to the top of my list as a new recommend here. So on this one, this is the Waggle, H-W-A-G-O-L, Waggle. This is their version of a smartwatch. I'm going to bring it on the top down. We'll get you nice and close to it. This is more of a traditional iPhone looking smartwatch. Let's come down closer and you'll take a look here. There we go. It is turned off right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on by holding the crown button. There we go. That's how fast they boot up. Again, another very clear screen on these. I'm so impressed with how clear that, you can see how clear that screen is now. Not really reflecting unless I kind of point it directly at the lights here. Very smooth, looking there. It's got the nice bezels, the rounded bezels. This one is the most iPhone-esque. Like I said, I got about 1,500 steps in today. I already feel guilty. You don't have to beat me up about it in the chat, but you can. There's my heart rate for the day, so it's going to have that heart rate. It is trying to measure right now, but it's not actually installed. We saw the other one was like 7 hours, 38 minutes. This one says I slept a little longer. And if you go in, it'll actually have the breakdown of your sleep inside of it. Now, I don't have it connected to my phone app right now. Let me pull that up real quick. So what's funny is this thing is already becoming a speaker. So as I'm typing on my phone, this is the phone app, by the way. As I'm typing on my phone, it's already coming out of this watch. So this watch tends to take over the speaker capability. Give me one sec. From whatever device it's connected to, but, I can play. This is a little Frozen soundtrack that's actually now playing out of this watch. So it actually plays music through the watch. It takes phone calls through the watch. You can find your phone can find it. And again, I'll bring up the app specifically for you guys to see this. But this is the app. It has all of those capabilities of the other standard watch products that you would see. Let me go ahead and bring this up and show you just a little bit more about the interface. We'll talk about that. So standard interface, you swipe down, you're going to have your quick list of items that you might want to talk to, to use. It does have a flashlight capability. There's the on, off on your flashlight. You can hit the crown to go back. If I pull up, I get that standard menu, right? Now, unfortunately, this camera does not do this justice, and it's going to have a hard time focusing on this because it is so small. But yeah, you can do that way. You can go to all of the things. You can run your voice assistant through it. Just going left and right is going to give you, there's our air quality is excellent. And you can see our temperatures. We're getting up to the 55s up here in the Seattle area. So hopefully that's coming into focus now. 55 degrees on Friday. So it's going to be nice and sunny. Of course, it's 29 at night. So it's going to freeze your butt off at night. But that's what you see there. Excuse me. Does have the music control, like I said. So if I hit this, it'll start playing music. And it's playing out of the watch because that's the Bluetooth device. Now, it doesn't have memory storage on it for playing songs directly from it, but it has that capability. Now, the built-in watch faces, if you just hold down, you can change the built-in watch face. It's got some cool ones in here. This is a neat rainbow one, and each part of the rainbow has a different data point from the watch itself. I downloaded one for all you Star Wars fans out there. Oh, gosh, I just totally hit the cancel button, didn't I? Yeah. Let me go ahead and save that. So I want to go all the way over to my Star Wars one. And now I've got my Stormtrooper there as my backdrop there. And you can see the date and time. The time here and the date are a little bit, more internationalized. Let's say it's 14-03, Tuesday at 6:55. Both of them include, the one I showed you earlier and this one include this rubber band, this rubberized band. Haven't had any issues or fitment issues with it. It does have a heart rate sensor on this one. And this one, if I open up the package, again, a lot more simplistic packaging on this one because it's a simpler watch. Does have multiple languages here, you guys can see, and it gives you full information about how to run the entire watch. Now, you don't have to be an expert to run these watches, which is great. Again, would be great for a kid, somebody that's new to technology. But if you make sure you open up this part of the packaging and look underneath here, and there you go. This is their charging cable. Now, what I always say is don't lose these charging cables because they're worth more than the watch because you have to buy another watch to usually get these. But it's a magnetic attachment. It's going to attach right there. And this watch is going to be good for several days. Again, just being used off of this. I'm going to clean the watch face a little bit because I just touched it on my padding here, which gets it dirty. So there you go. So that's the watch face right there. I've got my own watch face on it. If I go to messages, let's go down here. So this was a reply I got here, and it's a text message. One thing I like about this format, and you can see what I said to him there. One thing I like about this format of the square, it's a lot easier to read messages, where on the other one that was rounded, it was a really nice looking watch, and it was much more expensive, but there was that. Now, you will have the ability to look at emails. I've got Facebook stuff here, lots of cool messages that are going on right there. So this is that notification central. It does have a very similar feature in its app. Let me pull that up for you guys right now. One thing I like about this one is that you can specify frequent contacts. So there's the app. I'm going to bring it up so you guys can see it really clear. There's the different wallpapers. Wallpapers do take quite a while to get connected. And then if I come in here, one thing that you're going to see, message notification. This is all of my apps that allows, and then you can have pretty much anything else as well. So you can go ahead and get that really, really well dialed in. It does have frequent contacts. So I happen to have like thousands of people on my phone because of my corporate address book, and I don't want them all on my watch. So this is where you could add frequent contacts to your watch. Does have a remote selfie capability. I'm going to say keep current selection. So now you see my watch has actually turned into a little camera icon. Unfortunately, you're not going to get to see that unless maybe I can show it to you. Here we go. Turn the camera around. So there's the camera icon right now. If I want to take a picture, I just tap that, and now it just took a picture. So what you can do this for is if you need to take a picture. Wow, yeah, my camera doesn't look as nice this way. You just tap the front of the screen and it'll take a picture. So if you've got everybody lined up where you want them, and then you want to take a picture, there we go, and you want to take a picture, you can just simply be there and just tap your watch and have your phone take a picture. So it has that watch control. I know that's kind of an iPhone-esque thing, but let's go ahead and we'll go here. I'll do one last show of the different styles that it has. Again, really cool capability here. Pull down from the top, tap this, and then you can pick the different smartwatch styles. You can have the honeycomb, the smart style, this style. So that way, when I come down this way, now I'm back to that whole Apple style. So, they have come up with something that looks very similar to that. Now I can go directly to my sleep icon. They also have a really unique thing. If I just pull to the left a little bit, I've got this mini icon set here. So I can go ahead and go directly to maybe a calculator app. That was something I didn't show you on the other watch, but this one has that as well. So I can do, any sort of arithmetic if I want. Times, minus. It is hard to hit these little tiny buttons again with my big paws, but you can do basic arithmetic through this. It is going to have the ability to as well use a voice assistant. So that is from the Waggle company. Now the beauty of this one compared to the one I showed you earlier is the price. This one is much, much more affordable. When I say affordable, let me show you how cool the pricing on this one got. Let me go back over here. I'm going to turn this on. And we're going to go right into the smartwatch. The smartwatch is $39.99 right now on Amazon. I'm going to come back to me so you can see me. Let's do that so you can see me the normal way. So the watch is $39.99, but do you guys see this checkbox here? $15 coupon. So it's got a $15 off. That makes it $24.99 for what is a smartwatch. That's the cost of a screen protector for some of these fancy ones. It's less than the cost of tax on some of these other ones. So this watch is a great introductory smartwatch if you're looking for something that you don't want to break the bank. You don't mind if it gets hurt, gets dirty, whatever. It does, as it says here, have an IPS touchscreen on it, which is pretty slick. It does have multiple day battery life, so we'll talk about that. It does have the Bluetooth speaker. It has incoming and outgoing audio. There are other smartwatches that are in this price range, but they don't have audio in and audio out capability. I know that. There's a big brand that I did some videos for, and I like their smartwatch, but man, this thing has the thing that one was missing. It's going to have apps specific for tasks like weather and other stuff. Women's cycle trackers, all that kind of stuff in there. It does have fitness tracking capability. And as I saw, it's about 1,500 steps today, and both watches when I was wearing them were nearly identical. So I have no reason to believe that's not accurate. There's a little bit more about the health information that it can track as well. And there's a little bit about the battery life. So standby time on this one, it is going to be less than the one I showed earlier. But again, this is a much lighter weight and a much less costly investment right now. And this one is going to have 10 days of standby, 5 days of normal battery life, and just a 2-hour charge time. So that's brilliant if you're new to these kind of things. Charge time with the Apple Watches that I had, you'd wear them for a couple days and then they'd have to charge overnight. And so you'd lose some of that nightly tracking. If this thing can charge in 2 hours while you're at your desk, then you put it back on and you're good for another 5 days. That works out a lot better. You don't have to worry about your watch dying on you. So another really cool feature. So that's the second to the last product today. Again, that's a very economical smartwatch here. Oh, this is great. Good timing. So I was just showing the smartwatch and it says my TikTok alerted and said so-and-so likes your video. So somebody was watching and I got an alert right on my smartwatch. So you can see how those things work and how interactive this show is. So that's pretty slick. Thank you for the like on that video. Okay, we've got one final product. I want to bring this up on the carousel so you guys can see it. And it is an alternative for the bone conduction headset. If you're getting interested in bone conduction, hey Donald, welcome. He just dropped in 4 minutes ago on Amazon. Good to see you, Donald. I'm not even going to try to butcher the name of this. I did buy this as a neat alternative, and this is the K50 open ear bone conduction headset. So it's Bluetooth capable. It is a standard headset. It does have a microphone. I thought it did. Let me double check. I want to make sure because I was trying multiple of these. It may or may not have a microphone capability. We'll talk about it. It says headset, and then this one says headphones. I have to be really, really careful, but we're going to get into there. So we're going to do a quick unboxing of it here. It's, the box itself is pretty nice. So if you look at it, when it comes in, it's going to look something like that. We can take this part out. We can take this part out. One thing that this has that the other one I showed you did not, this one comes with ear plugs. Now, I believe this one is the waterproof one, but we'll double check. on the K50. Yeah, I believe this is either waterproof or water resistant. This is a standard USB Type-C plug. So if you need to charge these up and you don't want to be hunting around for your charger, that's what this has. It also has a small booklet, user manual. It's going to tell you everything about it, the instructions, the warranties, all that, what it all comes with in here. So a Type-C charging port, uh, indicator slash microphone. So that's what the side is. So it is the microphone input, the multifunction button, the plus and minus key. And I'm double checking. It is IPX6 waterproof. So IPX6, that's going to be some sort of splash resistance, but I don't think it's going to be submersible. So we'll have to double check on that. That's IPX6. We'll look at the product page. It only has a 500 milliamp hour battery, input, and it has a 230 milliamp hour battery. Now, if you look at these compared to the ones I showed earlier, different style. They do have a lot more plastic on them on the outsides, but there is that rubberized finish towards the inside. Now, I don't unfortunately have a microphone test of this, but what I can do is show you how they fit. Now, the other ones were a little bit larger in the back side here, and they kind of sat off of the back of your head. Now, the drawback is when I was laying down to listen to an audiobook, with the other ones, I'd hit that, it would move them off, and they'd get off of the bone conduction and would quit working. These ones fit a lot tighter, but they're almost a little bit too tight on my ears, so they don't make as good a contact. I guess they're doing better now for the demo, thank goodness. But I notice if there's any sort of gap here, if they're not actually making good physical contact on both sides, it's not going to get as loud. Audio quality wise, these ones 90%, 80% of the other ones that I showed. So like we talked about with bone conduction headsets in general, if you're looking for really high frequencies or really low frequencies, they're not great. So they're great for podcasts and other kind of spoken word music. But if you're looking for super high audio fidelity, you can see that they're not sticking out too far. Now I'm already wearing a boom headset here, but if you had these on, and I've seen this when I've gone to, an airline I was recently flying, somebody had these style of headphones. I didn't feel like they were covering their ears. If somebody had, either AirPods in or they had their ears covered, I would think that they're not listening to me. So this is another advantage of these style, is that they rest right here on that temple bone, right behind the temples, and they can go directly to your ears, and you can hear your music without having to have them turned up way loud, which is cool. And people even right up next to you don't hear much of what you're hearing. I know our kids listen to their music way too loud, so you can hear what they're hearing all the way up front in the car. But with this, it's very nice. Another nice thing about this, speaking of cars, is these bone conduction headsets, because your ear canal is open and you're able to hear all around you. I can hear when my kids need me. I drive the rowing kids carpool every once in a while when my wife needs me to. And it's fun because I can be listening to an audiobook and still hear the conversation and be part of a conversation that's going on in the car. So I kind of get a little bit of multitasking going. One thing that this has that the other ones I've showed you before do not is this little tiny package of earplugs. So I told you before, these are also not usually great for airlines. I got to pull that back for these ones because now I can put these in my ears and I block off the regular ear canal and I'm listening to the bone conduction capability. So if you ever, this would be a good test, if you ever plug both of your ears like that and then you just talk, you're hearing the vibrations from your jaw up through the bones in your cheek. Now, that's the same kind of technology that this is using. These bone conduction headphones use that vibration up here to transfer sound to your ears and to the organ that listens inside of your ear. So that's one advantage of these. Another thing we should talk about is waterproofing. I don't think, because these are IPX6, I don't think they're going to be as waterproof as some of the other ones you can buy, mainly because you have to open them to charge them. The other one had a magnetic charger. This one you open up like that, and you put your USB Type-C, which is awesome that it's standardized, charger in there, and you charge them up. But the drawback is anytime you have an opening like that where water can intrude, water is going to intrude. So I wouldn't really trust them as much as some of the others. So this is the box from the K50s. the Bone Conduction headphones. I did not do an audio test on them. On the final review video that I put out, I will do both an audio test for the microphone and then maybe let you listen to what they kind of sound like, give you my details on that. But that has been the final product for today. Again, this is the K50 Bone Conduction headset. If you guys are looking for that, the price on that one is a lot less than the other one. Let me go and I'll show you that. I've tried Bone Conduction headsets at really all of the price tiers. So I tried them at $130, which is what the other ones are. These ones are $32.99 right now. Again, if you've got a very large head, they might have some fitment issues for kids, for younger adults, people with a smaller head size. They will probably fit just fine. They're Bluetooth 5.3 compatible. It says waterproof. Again, like I said, be really careful on there if you're going to have the opening there. So you could potentially, go swimming in these. I don't know if I would recommend that, but if it's raining or doing anything outside, there's what it's going to say. Just again, be careful that it's sealed when you go to do that. So they're saying sweat, rainproof, just enjoy. Yeah, I would say more sweat proof and splash proof because if you don't have that seal all the way down, you're going to have some issues. But this is $32.99. I have actually a lower price version of this that was down to $10, but they're garbage. I didn't even do a review of them, so won't put you guys through that. I did want to show you that. So this was a good middle of the road. It's going to work with your PC. It's going to work with your Androids, your iPhones, your Macs, anything that has Bluetooth capability. It works as a standard audio device. So just wanted to share that with you. Battery life on this I didn't cover, but it is 8 to 12 hours, they're saying, of music and calling, and a 2-hour quick recharge on there, which is awesome. So that's the overview of that product. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. I'm taking a quick look at the chat. I don't see any questions. I'm going to take a look at the chat as well. Hey, Donald, he started following. Thank you so much, man. You're my first follower in the last few shows. So I do appreciate you following, and I look forward to hearing you guys next time. If you have not, feel free to use the follow link that's available either on Amazon or at the video description. You can follow me on Amazon and get notified each and every time I go live. This has been John the Net Guy. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all for tuning in. I see you there, Green. Thanks for checking out as well, and I will catch you guys all in a future video.